Alright guys, let's talk today about the Deathslinger, the grizzled cowboy with a harpoon rifle who's been lurking in Dead by Daylight since 2020. When he first arrived, he was completely unique, a mid-range killer who could spear survivors, drag them straight into his weapon and end a chase with one clean move. For a while, he felt strong, fresh, and genuinely scary to go up against. But a lot has changed in the last 5 years. Dead by Daylight's roster has exploded with killers who are faster, stronger, and loaded with mobility or global map pressure. And that leaves us asking the big question, in 2025, is Deathslinger still viable? Can he keep up with killers like the Blight, Wesker, or even Xenomorph? Or has he been left behind as a niche pick for only the most dedicated players? Well, in this video, we're breaking it all down. Why Deathslinger struggles in the current meta, what his real strengths are, how his add-ons compare to killers like the Huntress, and how you can still make him viable with the right perks, add-ons, and playstyle. But before we jump into it guys, I am a Dead by Daylight content creator bringing you new videos every Tuesday and Friday. Gameplay, news, you don't want to miss it. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, and if you're enjoying the video so far, please leave a like. So, why does he struggle? Well, it's safe to say that killers have changed a lot since the Deathslinger dropped. Back in 2020, he did feel like a breath of fresh air. Huntress was the only real ranged killer at that point, and suddenly, here was this shotgun-style harpoon that punished survivors at mid-range. He carved out his own space in the roster. But now, look at who he's competing against. Blight zips across the map in seconds. Wesker has dashes and built-in infection pressure. Xenomorph can get around the map instantly. Even killers like Artist and Trickster provide range threats with more consistent pressure. Deathslinger, on the other hand, is stuck at 110% movement speed with no mobility and no map-wide tools. If survivors spread out, gens absolutely fly. And the biggest pain point? Missing a shot. If you whiff, you're locked into a long recovery animation. Then you have to reload. And by the time you're back in action, survivors are already gone. Against coordinated teams, that downtime is a death sentence. On top of that, survivors today are much better at countering him. They hug tight loops so your chain hits the wall, or they break the line of sight as you fire, forcing a miss. In short, compared to the modern roster of killers, Deathslinger feels clunky, high risk, and not nearly as viable as he once was. But let's talk about what he does well, because Deathslinger isn't completely doomed. He does still have strengths that can make him dangerous in the right hands. First, mid-range control. His sweet spot is about 8 to 18 meters. Survivors can't juke fast enough at that range, and if you land the shot, you reel them right into your follow-up. The second is loop denial. This is where Slinger shines. Unsafe pallets, bolts, long walls, he can shut them down instantly. One harpoon landed ends the chase. Unlike Huntress or Trickster, he doesn't need multiple hits, he just needs one good shot. And to add to this, he has deep wound pressure, which I know is every survivor's favourite thing. Every successful shot forces survivors to mend. Even if you don't get the down right away, you're still wasting their time and pulling them off objectives. So while he's not top tier, Deathslinger can still be viable if you lean into precision, timing, and punishing mistakes. Now I want to talk about his Iridescent coin versus the Huntress's Iridescent axe. The reason I want to talk about this is because I think it's not debated anywhere near enough. So, for context, the Deathslinger's best add-on by far is his Iridescent coin. When this is equipped, if you shoot a survivor from at least 12 meters away and connect, you can reel them in and instantly down them. That sounds pretty powerful, right? And the reason I'm comparing this to the Huntress's Eerie Axe is because that particular add-on allows her to insta-down survivors by hitting an axe throw. But hers doesn't require any distance. So she can lock you in a corner, throw the axe at you, and instantly down you. Next, let's talk about how we can play Deathslinger effectively. If you really want to make Deathslinger viable and play for the 4K, unfortunately, you're going to be relying on slowdown perks. So, what perks specifically am I talking about? Well, Corrupt Intervention is one, as this will allow you to block gens early on in the game. Dead Man Switch is another, to punish survivors when they go for unhooks and leaving a gen. Pain Resonance for aggression, and Jolt is also reliable. These will keep survivors under pressure while you focus on hitting your shots. Next, what sort of add-ons could you use with the Deathslinger? Well, we've already mentioned his Iridescent coin, but if you want to speed up animation times, you should look at the modified ammo belt, which cuts your reload time. The Spit Polish Frag shortens the recovery when you miss, and the Bayshore Cigar allows you to recover quicker when a survivor breaks free from a chain. Me in particular, I tend to run the Iridescent coin and Bayshore Cigar. Map control. Well, how can you control a map when you've got a killer that doesn't really have global map pressure? Well, do it this way. Don't waste time in tight jungle gyms where your chain's going to hit the walls. Instead, push survivors into open spaces where you, as the killer, can control the fight. Long walls, unsafe pallets, and spots with good sight lines is your best friend. And step 4 is to aim practice. Remember, Deathslinger is mechanical. The better you get at predicting jukes and leading your shots, the more viable, naturally, he will become. Spend time in custom matches, learn survivor movement patterns, and practice hitting that sweet 10 to 15 meter range. So, is Deathslinger still viable in Dead by Daylight in 2025? Well, he's not the meta. There is absolutely no getting away from that. And he's not high tier. And he doesn't compete with killers who bring insane mobility or global pressure. But in the right hands, with strong aim, smart positioning, and the right loadout, he can still be a dangerous and rewarding pick. But I'm interested to know what your thoughts are. Do you think Deathslinger is underrated? Or does he need a rework to catch up with modern killers? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to drop a like and subscribe for more killer deep dives. As always, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.